one of the things that we sort of talked about briefly is the concept of do good men exist? What is your thought on that?
Good men do actually exist. And thank God.
Yes.
That is a good thing. Um, yeah, they do exist, whether you see them all the time or whether they're everywhere, they do exist, you know? Yeah.
That's true. I think sometimes, as we said, that if you don't, they say exposure expands you. And so if you're not exposed, you may have only a small inkling of a concept that they're only off somewhere distance from where you are. But if we really remove those lenses from our eyes, we can really see that there are great quality men all around us that's available
Right.
and really do want to be a part. I'm sorry, this hair. I keep saying it's still like, where does that come from, Lord? But they really do exist. They're around us, and they really do want to be active in a relationship if given
Right.
the opportunity.
I just thought of a myth or one of those things you're talking about
Okay. Yeah.
that I've heard. I think it's the stupidest thing.
Mhm.
For the people who say all the good men are taken.
Oh no.
How? How? They're not all married
Exactly.
because people are
Exactly.
still getting married.
Yes,
And if
they
the people who are
are.
still getting married have good men, then good men still exist.
That's right.
So it's
That's
not like
right.
what year did the cap happen? At what year did the cap of good men stop and they were all taken?
Exactly. And I know men are probably thinking the same thing about women too. Like when the cap, where's that? Where's the sector that this happened in,
Yeah.
so that we will know. Because we're still out here looking at and available things as well. I like that Justin. I mean, quoting him when I asked him the question too. That was something that Constance asked in the book, and I gave him the flip side of that. Like, do you believe good women still exist and things like that? And so he was the same. He was like, of course, good women still exist. And when I asked him about the men, he was like, you looking at one. So I'm like, okay, you're right. You're right. So they are available. But as we said before, sometimes we have to remove that preconceived notion or debunk those myths from our mind so that we can see, like, hey, there's something available for you if you're willing to go out there and to look effectively. Now, one of the things that we talked about earlier too is the aspect of communication. And recently, somebody told me of a book by Hill Hopper that's entitled "The Conversations." Now,
Okay.
I haven't read the whole book. I actually read a snippet of it this week, and I was like, "Oh, this is probably going to be a book I want to look at." And from what I gathered so far, it could be totally different. But what I gathered so far, he was saying that there were conversations that men and women need to have so that we can fully understand how to effectively communicate with each other. Do you
Yeah.
believe that's something that is a barrier in many relationships, that people really don't know how to talk to each other?
I do think so because everybody's communication style is different. So I
Yes,
think a lot of things can be misinterpreted
that's true.
based on your communication style or just your perception of life. You might perceive something different, and that's not what it is or what that person is trying to say. And when
Mm,
things are taken wrong or perceived wrong, it causes a lot of mess and
yeah.
confusion and I guess hurt that, doesn't have to be where the relationship can be. I don't want to use the word delayed, but it can slow things down where it should be progressing or take you back a step
Exactly.
just through miscommunication.
Yes, I think that our characters actually found that as well. Constance and Robert had some interaction together, and because of the lack of revealing certain things in their communicating component, it actually caused a separation in their relationship. It caused someone to feel like that maybe you're lying because you withheld certain information. I guess that could be a question too. Do you
Mhm.
believe that if someone omits certain truths or don't communicate certain things to you, that could be considered a lie, that they chose to omit certain things from a conversation with you? Or is that just that, they just didn't think at it at the time, or maybe they thought of it, but they were like, this gonna lead us down a different path. I'm not trying to really go there right now. Do you feel like an omission is considered a lie?
Not always. I would say sometimes. I think a lot of things just vary, and I'm a person who looks like at things from all perspectives. So
Yes.
I don't always have like a general answer.
Mhm.
I think it depends on what it is. Um, whether something maybe doesn't need to be discussed yet on a timeline, not into a way that it can be misleading or manipulative.
Mhm.
Um, and sometimes it is lying if a person is a good liar and they're trying to wiggle their way around it, then, that's where there is some omission that's left out and that person is lying. So I think it just depends on how it's done, um, what it is, and when you find out, when you are able to understand what the intentions of it were. So
Yes.
I think a lot of it is intentions. If you intentionally omitted something so that you weren't figure out that you were lying, or you didn't want that person to know
Mm,
you were lying, then I mean, you're gonna realize after a while that, and then that is a problem. Um, but let's say that, different things you want to disclose depends on how serious the relationship is. Maybe
yes,
it's not something that maybe needs to be told the whole story all at once. But
exactly.
when the relationship gets a little bit more serious, then you can disclose a little more. So in that omitting something, I wouldn't say that that person was lying,
Mhm.
because they did intend to tell the truth. Um, at the time it was supposed to be told. And then
Exactly.
again, that depends on what it is that they're also, withholding. Because like if the relationship is not leading to like something more seriously, then
Mhm.
they don't need to know like certain things about you.
That's right.
Not yet.
Yeah.
So
Timing. That's what I'm hearing in
yeah,
here. Timing.
yes.
Timing is very important because sometimes there are things that a person needs to know, but you're just like, they can't handle that, not at this time. And so I love that you said intentions, and then I'm hearing timing. So yes,
Hmm.
it's all about your intentions. If you were purposely trying to be manipulative, then that's something totally different. But if
Yeah.
you were trying to do it at a certain pace, so that it will be um, not necessarily acceptable, but maybe that a person can actually take it in. Because if you reveal too much of something at a certain time, people just like, okay, that was a lie. And so we need a moment to try to digest all of that. So I think that will make it more palatable. I think that's what I'm trying to say. That they can consume it a little
Yeah.
bit better with timing and with the appropriate intentions and all